Hello, hello. Okay, good. Hello, Elly here from Thankful Flow Yoga. Thank you so much for joining me for another practice, whether you're watching this on the membership or on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe to this channel. This helps to support me to continue making these flows. And we're going to be here today for our part 5 in the Mindful Mornings practice. So I hope you've been kind of enjoying these practices so far. Today we're looking at the 5th Yama Aparagrihaha. So when you're ready, coming into a comfortable seated position on your mat. Now this is going to be a slower, more meditative practice. We are going to finish the practice with a body scan meditation. So grab anything that you would like to have for that, whether you like to use a bolster, blankets, cushions, whatever you might need to make yourself nice and comfortable. So we will start the class with some breathing and some movement. So once you've found your comfortable seat, I'd like you to start to close the eyes or take a steady gaze out in front. And you can bring the hands to rest on the knees or the thighs, palms facing up, an option to take your chin mudra, bringing the index finger to the thumb. So Aparigraha, the 5th Yama, is translate as freedom from greed and desire, part of our yoga philosophy. And a lot of this is about stepping away from ego. So the ego is always looking for the next thing, the next event to bring us happiness. Ego is doing, seeking. So when we're practicing Aparigraha, we are stepping away from that, and stepping away from that can be as simple as being in the present moment, allowing ourselves to be in this moment right here, right now. Knowing that that is all that really exists. Many of you read Eckhart Tolle's, I might be pronouncing his name wrong, but his books, Power of Now, A New Earth, I highly recommend them. He talks a lot about being in the now and about ego. So for anyone who is interested to delve deeper into that. But today our focus is going to be through meditation and some gentle movement, practicing being in the present moment. So taking our breathing technique to come into the practice, we're going to inhale for 4 counts, hold the breath for 4 counts, and then exhale for 4 counts. But if at any time this doesn't work for you, just come back to your natural breathing, taking what you need in this practice. So inhaling through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4, holding for 1, 2, 3, 4, exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, holding for 1, 2, 3, 4, exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, holding for 1, 2, 3, 4, exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, holding for 1, 2, 3, 4, exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, holding for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4. Returning back to your natural breath. And on your exhales, just imagine letting go of anything that came before this practice and any thoughts of anything that might be coming after this practice. And when we bring our awareness to our breath and into the body, this automatically really brings us into the present moment. Starting to open the eyes now, taking a steady gaze. Place your right fingertips down to the mat beside you. And we inhale, sweep the left fingertips up to the sky, lift up and out from the waist. Exhale, find a stretch over to the right side. Breathing here. Sending your breath down the left side of the body as it opens. And release, start to float over to the other side. So as you inhale, the right arm reaches up, lift up and out from the waist. Exhale, float over to the left side. Right side body opening up. Breathing here. And release that right hand back down to the mat. Bring the hands to the knees or the thighs. Start to take some circles. So initiating this movement from the waist, going around in one direction. Try rounding the spine at the back, opening across the chest at the front. And make sure to come back in the opposite direction as well. Always interesting to notice which direction you automatically like to go in. Just being curious. And trying to observe, often in our yoga practice, is a really great time to see if you can observe the ego within yourself. Not from a place of judgment or criticism, but just from a place of curiosity, noticing when there's a part of you that's pushing yourself into something or taking an option that's not serving you, and noticing those times when that happens, where perhaps the ego is playing a part in disconnecting you from your authentic self, what you truly need on that day. So finishing your last circle, coming back to center. And we'll move into tabletop position now. Just come onto all fours. Check that your shoulders above the wrists, hips are above the knees. Moving into some cat and cow as you exhale. Lift the belly in towards the spine. Tuck the tailbone in. Lift up and out through the shoulders. Drop the head. As you inhale, lift the head open across the chest. Exhale, round the spine, draw the belly button in, lift up and out through the shoulders. Inhale, lift the gaze, shine the heart forwards. Exhale, draw the belly button in, round the spine, pelvis drawing up and in towards the body. Inhale, lifting the gaze, opening across the chest. And then come back to a neutral position with the spine. From here, keep your hips aligned above the knees. Hips are not moving here, so check in and notice if you have a tendency for the hips to move when you come into this pose. You're walking the hands out in front, finding your melting heart pose, extended puppy pose. So the chest and the forehead are drawing down towards the mat. If this feels too strong, you can come onto the forearms to support you. So take any modifications that you need. Thinking about letting go here, surrendering. So stretching into the cervical part of the spine, this upper part of the spine, the shoulders. And you can use your core here to support you. So draw the belly in. Connect with your breath, your prana, your life force energy. Inhale, walk the hands back in so that they're underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes under. And as we exhale, press the mat away with your hands. Find your downward facing dog. Remembering you can keep some bend through the legs if you need to. Really lifting those hips to the sky. Gaze between the knees. And this downward facing dog can often feel like a strong place to be. This pose has so many benefits. We're stretching the back of the body. We're strengthening the upper body. We're increasing blood flow to the head and the brain, which is good for focus, concentration, brain health. We're actually in an inversion. And we're increasing our energy levels. So just breathe into that space. Remember, you can take a child's pose at any time if you need to. Inhale. Bring your gaze between your hands. Step the feet in. Find a forward fold. So allow your head to really hang heavy here. Bend your legs as much as you need to. Take your hands on your elbows. And just see if you can take a little more bend through that left knee and draw the left elbow over to that side so your gaze is looking under your right armpit. You might feel that deeper stretch through the back of the right leg, maybe into the glutes, the hips. Well done. Move over to the other side. So right elbow comes towards right knee, looking under that left armpit, finding that stretch. If it feels too much, just stay in the standard forward fold. Remembering to honour your body, listen to your body and your breath. Listen to what it's communicating to you. Coming back to centre, bring your hands to your hips. Keep as much bend as you need to in the legs. Inhale, draw the belly in. Lift the chest. Come up to standing, Tadasana mountain pose. From the top of the mat, we'll inhale, sweep the fingertips up to the sky, lift the ribs away from the hips. Exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold, bend the legs as much as you need to. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the spine, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Hands can be on the shins, the thighs, or the mat. Exhale, softening through the legs, bend, and bring the hands down to the mat. Step the feet back to plank position, or you can drop your knees straight down. Work through your chaturanga. So I'll do the modified version today. Exhale, bringing the knees down to the mat. Keep the elbows tucked in, lower the chest down. If you want to come through into upward facing dog, you absolutely can on the inhale. Or you're going to inhale, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest and find a cobra. Tops of the feet press to the mat, activate the legs, support your spine. Exhale, melt the chest back down. Press the hands into the mat. On your exhale, hips come up to the sky, find your downward facing dog. Or take a child's pose. Reconnect with your breath. And keep coming back to that intention of Aparigraha. Freedom from desire and greed. Freedom from the ego. But just remember that when we're talking about ego, I think it's important to try not to
have a really negative association to ego. Ego is a part of us that is there for a reason, and if we honour it and learn to observe it, a lot of the ego will melt away on its own the more that you become aware and the more that you observe. So we don't have to fight against it. It's just about learning to be as present as you can, remembering that you are a human being living this human existence. Inhale, step the feet in towards the hands, lift the chest, lengthen the spine, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up to the sky, grow the spine tall. Exhale, bring your hands through to heart center. Now we're going to step the left foot back. The left toes are at a slight angle, right toes pointing forwards. Bring your hands to your hips, finding our pyramid pose. So inhale, reach the crown of your head to the ceiling. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forwards. So keep this right hip tucked in. You can always grab your blocks, pop your hands on blocks here. You can stay at this halfway point, or if it's in your practice, you can start to bring the hands down. Maybe walking the forehead towards the shin, only if that feels good for you, if that feels right for you. Inhale, lift the chest, keep the spine long, come away from the fold. Open out to your wide leg position, toes pointing forwards. Inhale, lift the ribs away from the hips. Exhale, hinge from the hips, keep the spine long. Start to come into your fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. Shifting a little bit of weight into the balls of the feet, and just remember, again, you could have your hands on blocks here, you can stay higher up. Inhale, keeping the spine long, taking deep breaths as you come up. Slowly start to lift the chest back up. Coming back to standing, moving your hair out the way if you're someone like me who's decided to have a ponytail today. And then we're going to move onto our pyramid pose on the other side. So now we've got the left foot at the front, right toes at a slight angle, but our hips are square, so hips are shining forwards. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Folding over the left leg, keep that left hip tucked in. Option to bring hands down to the mat if that's in your practice, no worries if it's not. You could also have your hands on your blocks, so you could have the blocks framing the foot, and this is a really nice way to support you to keep the spine long in this pose. Sending your breath into the back of the left leg. Hands come to the hips. Inhale, lifting the chest away, coming away from the fold. Then stepping that right foot in. Walk the feet so they're slightly further than hip width apart. Point the toes out. Hands come to Anjali Mudra, heart center. Inhale here. As you exhale, bend through the legs. Lower the hips down. Find your Malasana. Take blocks under the hips or under the heels. Roll up your mat. Take whatever you need here. Lift the crown of the head to the ceiling. Engage Mula Bandha, muscles at the seat of the pelvis, the pelvic floor. That's our root lock. So we're locking our energy at the root. Now releasing the hips down to the mat. Soles of the feet come down, roughly hip width apart. Reach the fingertips out in front. Draw the belly in towards the spine. Start to lower the spine down towards the mat. Seeing how slow you can go here. If you need to bring your hands down at any time, please, please do. And finally allowing your head and your shoulders to meet the mat. Lengthen the legs. This is a good time to pop on any layers that you would like to take. Allow your feet to drop out to the side. And open your arms out to the side with the palms of the hands facing upwards. Closing the eyes now. For those of you who practice live with me or who are part of the online membership will know we often do these body scans at the end of a lot of the practices. And they're a really great way to find a state of meditation, to bring awareness into the body, to release tension. So we're going to start with bringing our awareness into the crown of the head, relaxing the scalp. And you can imagine this as a beam of light traveling down into the body. You can imagine this as nourishing energy filling up the body. So start to scan down into the face, relaxing the muscles in the forehead, behind the eyes, the cheeks, the jaw, perhaps opening and closing the jaw a couple of times. Notice as everything relaxes just how much tension you might have been holding without even realizing it. Continue to scan down into the neck and the throat, giving permission to all the muscles in this area to relax, perhaps imagining filling this area with that healing energy. Moving down into the shoulders, the shoulder blades, just allowing your shoulder blades to melt into the mat. And as they do, notice any space you created to breathe, any space across the chest. Maybe you can feel your rib cage expanding with your breath. Feeling the arms now starting to become heavy. Perhaps traveling down the arms, imagining this nourishing, healing energy. Imagine that it's reaching every single muscle, every single cell, every piece of connective tissue, fascia, everything that's there, every layer. Finding the hands and the fingers, observing any sensations, any tingling. And then moving down into the torso, scanning through the muscles, the organs, the tummy muscles, the abdomen, and the muscles in the back of the body. Moving all the way down to the base of the spine, Muladhara or root chakra. And into the hips and the pelvis, Svadhisthana, our sacral chakra. Now these are energy centers located within the body. They also correlate to collections of nerves and glands. So just bringing your awareness into these two areas, observing anything that you can in these areas. and giving permission for everything to relax, for the hips to sink down into the earth, for any tension or stress stored within the body, allow that to be emptied. Allow the weight of your body to be fully received by the ground that's beneath you, to be held, supported. And then keep moving down into the legs, the thighs, the hamstrings. Imagine that energy, that light nourishing this area. Give permission for this area to let go. Finally reaching down into the knee joint, the calves, the shins, the ankles and the feet. Notice every single part of the foot, the heel, the arches, the balls of the feet, the toes. Lots of nerves in this area, so observe, see if you can feel any energy, any tingling, and it's okay if you don't. Now notice how the body feels. Notice how you feel. Absorb this practice. Remember that you can use your body awareness, your breath, to bring you back into the present moment at any time. It doesn't have to be just in this practice. As little as 60 seconds of focusing on the breath can make a huge difference within the body, the nervous system, bringing you back to the present moment. Now, if you have time, just staying in your Shavasana for longer. If you are ready to finish this practice, I want you to try and keep the eyes closed and roll over to one side, whichever side feels natural and comfortable for you. Pausing here, just allowing this practice to wash over you. And when you're ready, making your way back up to your comfortable seated position on your mat. Opening the eyes back up when you're ready, coming back into the physical body. Thank you so much for being here and practicing with me. I really appreciate all the subscribers, the comments, the feedback, the likes of the videos, all the support on this channel really means the world to me, and to know that you're following these practices with me either on the membership or YouTube is just incredible. So thank you so much for showing up and being here. Please do keep feeding back to me. I love hearing from you, and there's links below this to online retreat that I'm offering in January. I would absolutely love to have you come join me live for that. We would do a lot of the kind of chakra and elements meditations and themed yoga practices. So if that's something that you really enjoy, then definitely check that out. And yeah, I can't wait to see you again soon for another practice. Thank you and take care. Bye bye.